Ohayo, hajimemashite, Malik Torihane. Hello, my freaky darlings. How are we today? Give everybody a couple of minutes to get in here. I just got done sharing the links and stuff in different places, so we're just going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in here, and then we'll get started. Hello, Isaac. I'm afraid I don't, Isaac. I don't know you personally, so I wouldn't know what you called your dog. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the TEMPTacle Lounge. I am your host and proprietor, Malik Torihane, and today we are getting started on Dragon Ball New Age Chapter 9. The chapter is currently not all the way penciled out, but that doesn't matter. We've got enough pages to get started and get pages in time for this week. Today we're going to do the title page and possibly one and at least another page, and then we might do a little bit of supplementary sketching and stuff if I have time. I'm a little kind of under the weather right now. Not exactly sick, but I've had a bit of a headache. So we'll see how I feel after we get done with the 2 pages for today. Before we get into the heart of the work, I have my little shill speech to get out of the way. For the next 2 days, if you want to support the channel financially, you can check out ko-fi.com/Malik Torihane. That is my commissions page. You can make one-time donations and buy commissions from there if you like the work that I do and you'd like to get some art for yourself. For the next 2 days, if you use Taco Papa at checkout, get 10% off your commission order. If you'd like to get t-shirts and stuff, you can find a link to my bonfire store in the description. And, of course, if you don't have the financial stability or ability to support the channel, just watching and sharing the stream and subbing helps tremendously. With all that out of the way, welcome to the TEMPTacle Lounge. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get to work. Actually, hold on. What is this part? Oh. Now, I've mentioned before, Isaac, I'm not a big fan of crossovers that between properties that I don't think go together. I don't think Star Wars and Predator belong together. Nero, hello! I'm doing pretty good, Nero. I have a little bit of a headache, which I seem to always get after holiday dinner because of the intake of carbs and sugar, I suppose. So I'm hoping to work through that as I'm doing the inking and stuff for that, Chapter 9. Yes, Isabella, art is being made. Oh, we just got started. So, nobody's really missed anything. We just got started on the title page. As of right now it does, but I don't know if that will be the case when we get to that part in the story. Like I said a couple of times, I'd like to take the focus off of just buffing up Goku and Vegeta with like new transformations and stuff, and start applying some of that to the characters who need to get the buffs and stuff, because they are going to be the more of the focus of the story going forward, like Gohan, Oob, and those guys. Oh, that's good, Isabella. Yeah, I mentioned earlier I'm kind of working through a migraine myself. I said before, Isaac, I haven't paid literally any attention to anything involving the Predator. Oh, it has nothing to do with my work, Isabella. It's, the reason I had to go on a diet, not only just because of my weight issues, was because, I guess, like, sugar and carbs and stuff give me headaches, and when you're eating a holiday dinner with a parent who doesn't, cook based on your diet, you know, like, it's just hard to avoid not eating the things that you're not supposed to eat, especially at your mom's house for a holiday. And, I just ate too much of it. Why do I think transformations in DBS fall flat? A lot of times it's because they have no build-up. They're just revealed. Like Super Saiyan Blue. Even in the movie, Super Saiyan Blue has, like, no build-up, and it's just thrown out there because it's expected. We were actually talking about this in regards to the Asura form in the current version of DBNA versus the Super Saiyan 5 from the original version, and how in the original version of Dragon Ball New Age, Rigger just reveals that he has that form out of nowhere. Without ever alluding to it or anything, he just says, hey, check this out. I've got this other form that I've been keeping in my back pocket. In comparison, in the definitive edition, the Asura form has been teased since Chapter 2. Sapari and Rigger have been teasing that there's something more that he has, and how dangerous it is. They've been teasing it for, 7 chapters by comparison. Where in the old version, Super Saiyan 5 was teased for a whole 7 seconds. I think the anime did, like, a better job of trying to allude to Blue, but I still think it falls really flat. Then, like, the anime-only forms like Super Saiyan Rage are just dumb. I think my issue with Ultra Instinct and Omen of Instinct is just how frequently it came up and got used during the Tournament of Power. Anime time notwithstanding, if you, like, looked at it in real time, the total cumulative time Goku used Omen and mastered Ultra Instinct, like, tops out at, like, a couple of, like, less than a minute, basically. But I don't like how he just keeps slipping in and out of it, in and out of it, in and out of it. But then at, like, the end of the Tournament of Power when he's facing Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, hey, why don't you use that form that you were using during the Tournament of Power? I forgot. I don't know how to do it. I only used it, like, 16 times, but I forgot how to do it. I did like that they made him have to work for it in the Moro arc. He couldn't just use it all the time. He had to work for it. I just don't like how in like with Granola, the form basically got jobbed out. I think that's another thing that's causing these new forms to kind of fall flat, is that these forms come out and they get jobbed out in like the same arc. When Super Saiyan first showed up, it was like, you know, that was a big deal, and it beat Frieza. Where nobody else could, it beat Frieza. And then it was the next arc that it became kind of underwhelming and it needed to be upgraded. But with like Ultra Instinct, it never beats Jiren. Jiren like basically survives, and in the anime especially, he like actually like equals it. You know, he's fighting toe to toe with Ultra Instinct. And then in the Moro arc, they completely job out, like, you know, I just don't like they are failing in the execution of the forms, is what I think it is. If you want a form to be a big deal, it's got to do something, and, like, it's actually got to, like, make a difference and win. Which is why I think Ultra Ego, like, falls flat, because, oh, you're gonna give Vegeta this new power, and show him kicking the crap out of Granola, and then he just loses it and loses anyway. Why do you think us Vegeta fans constantly hate on Super? Because you can never give Vegeta something nice and let him have it, and like, just, you know, just give him something, man. See, I think the issue is, like with a lot of transformations, if you give a protagonist a transformation, it has to win. You can give a villain a transformation and the villain can lose because that's kind of like what's to be expected. You gave Frieza 4 different forms plus a 100% form, and they stuck because you established how threatening they are. If you give a protagonist a form and they don't win with it, or they don't do anything substantive with it, you kill the intrigue of it. Super Saiyan 3 looks cool, and if you take the movie out of it, what victory does Super Saiyan 3 have? It doesn't have anything. In fact, it's full of nothing but drawbacks. I don't even know if it's purely the design of the forms. I think it really does have to deal with the execution. You can make something bare bones, bare minimum, and make it work if you execute it well. I mean, look at Kaioken. You know, Kaioken comes in, like when Goku first gets Kaioken and he goes to fight Nappa and Vegeta, Nappa has spent the entire arc ragdolling all of the superheroes. All the super warriors are all getting ragdolled by Nappa. Kaioken Goku immediately comes in and ragdolls Nappa with it. He beats the guy who just beat everybody that we watched him beat for the entire arc. He gets an instant victory with that form. So we establish just how good the Kaioken is. So you can afford to let it, like, kind of job out to Vegeta because it got a victory. We established that it's good, it just wasn't quite so good enough to beat the big bad. But if you give Goku Super Saiyan Blue, and he fights Frieza, and he doesn't really beat Frieza, he actually loses. Plus, you don't give it any kind of build-up. They were, like, with the original Super Saiyan, but, oh, well, here, hold on. Let me get back on this topic. The whole, like, look of the form. Look at Super Saiyan and Kaioken. Kaioken is just a different colored aura than Goku usually has, and Super Saiyan turns his hair from black to gold. That's not a really big change. It changes the shape of his hair, and it goes from black to gold. That's not a huge change. And they were done specifically, and like, Super Saiyan was done specifically because Toriyama didn't, he felt bad and he didn't want his assistants to have to keep coloring in the black hair. So they were done out of, like, laziness and procrastination. He wanted to make sure that they could just go through it, like, really, really fast. So he said, you know what, we just won't color the hair black. So you can make something bare bones minimum, and if you execute it well, it'll stick. If you don't, it falls flat. It's kind of like a wrestler. If you hype up the debut of a wrestler on TV for weeks, he shows up, and in his first match, his debut match, he loses, you've already killed it. You've already sold him up the river and put him as a loser in the eyes of your fans. You never do that. And it's the same thing with debuting a new transformation. If you debut a transformation and it loses immediately and does nothing of substance other than, oh, look, this transformation sequence is really pretty, that's all it's ever going to be. It'll always just be a pretty transformation, and then that's it. I think that it goes back to my larger point of everything had to be status quo at the end of Dragon Ball Super. So you can't, like, everything has to be status quo, so nothing of substance and value really sticks. And I've even said, in my opinion anyway, when Dragon Ball Super is over and done with, like, what besides the divine hierarchy did it actually add to the series? You need more than just Super Saiyan transformations and buffs for Goku and Vegeta to make something memorable. You know? So, for me, the whole argument, well, without Super, we wouldn't have gotten Super Saiyan God. Okay. And Yeah, I prefer Super Saiyan God over Super Saiyan Blue because it was treated like, yeah, it came really fast and it kind of came out of the blue and everything, but it was treated with some reverence and respect. Super Saiyan Blue was just, you know what, we have to make more transformations because we got to sell more merch. Let's just make Super Saiyan God and we'll just switch the hair color and give it a Super Saiyan hairstyle. Well, see, that's where the difference lies with me and most people, Jason, is I have always said that GT wasn't that bad. I never looked at GT in retrospective and said that GT is just awful and then changed my position on it a while ago. I've maintained that it isn't a great series by any measure, but I never said it was just outright awful. I've from day one said that Super wasn't as special as everyone made it out to be. So other people might do that. Other people might look back on it and be like, you know what? Super wasn't actually that bad, because there's still people who say Super isn't that bad today. But I'm not one of those people. Yeah, they were going to do a lot of different things with Super that they've changed, like, retroactively. Also, Super Saiyan Time Lord, welcome to the stream. I don't recall seeing you here before. I'm glad you were able to make it. I love seeing new people in the chat. Yeah, we're putting a lot more effort into this, into these title pages for the definitive edition, so there's going to be like a lot more additional details that I normally wouldn't do. I appreciate that, Time Lord. That means a lot. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that, like, I haven't finished penciling this chapter, but I can tell you guys, this chapter is freaking intense. We got some crazy stuff going on here. Are you kidding me? Is it really about to thunderstorm while it's snowing? Nero, that's something you'll just have to wait to see towards like the end of the chapter. You'll have to wait and see what happens with Rigger in regards to his vendetta against Vegeta. Well, that is something certainly we would like to do, Time Lord. I like for my stuff to, like, make sense in the story. I don't like doing things just because they look cool or whatever. I believe coolness factor has, you know, it has a place, but it shouldn't be the sole reason you do something. It's a lot thicker than I thought it was. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it's as simple as just getting an apology, you know. Kind of like what happened in the original version. You know, Vegeta actually, like, in the original version, Vegeta did apologize, like, really early in the arc. He apologized to Rigger, and Rigger basically told him to take his apology and shove it. So I think it would take something more than just a simple apology for Rigger to let this vendetta that he's had, this grudge, go. Hey, Blazing. Well, Time Lord Super Saiyan God is actually canon to Dragon Ball New Age. It actually happened because Dragon Ball New Age acknowledges the fight between Goku and Beerus. Like, even in the start of the chapter, Goku acknowledges that he hasn't learned how to become a god on his own yet. But he knows that there's things past Super Saiyan 4. It would be explained, it'll be explained at a later date, but in this story, these versions of Goku and Vegeta are stronger than the GT counterparts you might know of, because these versions have actually trained with Whis. They've had some training with Whis, they just never got to finish the training and master God Ki and stuff like that. So they've had a little bit of training with Whis, they just never finished the training. Yeah, I mean, Rigger has... you could see it a lot in the story that Rigger is doing his darndest to look at Vegeta as the person he knew before. He's trying to look at Vegeta as that selfish prick that he, like, has spent his entire life hating. He is trying his hardest to see Vegeta as that person. You know, he's seeing some of the cracks. It's starting to break through. Like when Vegeta asked for his name in Chapter 2, you know, Rigger kind of shakes his head and is like trying to say, oh, well, you know, this is, you must be joking with me because you would never ask me for my name. And then Vegeta's like, dude, shut up, give me your name. You know, he's had this thing, and, like, even Sapari has said, you know what, like, he's got a family and stuff now, and, like, he even asked for our names. Maybe he changed. And Rigger is he's just trying to put it out of his head that, nah, he's still the same guy he was. Nobody likes to be told that the thing that they've worked for is wrong. Nobody likes to be told that they're wrong. Yeah, Goku and Vegeta constantly fighting with each other on Beerus' planet. And keeping him awake is what made him kick them out. Because, like, the original Super Saiyan 5 design, I was just trying so hard to make something that was, like, visually distinct. I didn't want anybody to confuse my Super Saiyan 5 with anybody else's. And there's a point, you know, like, I can see the virtue in trying to do something like that, but I can also see the virtue in making something that's distinct yet still recognizable. That's why, like, with the version of Super Saiyan 5 or Asura form that we have now, yeah, it still has the fur and stuff, and it has the long Super Saiyan 3 hair like people expect out of Super Saiyan 5. It's just the color palette is different. Plus, it makes sense from a consistency standpoint that if Super Saiyan 4 is the next step in the evolutionary alignment of Super Saiyan, then hair shouldn't be something that it shouldn't be like with Super Saiyan 3, where Super Saiyan 3 is the only form with no eyebrows, and then it immediately goes to having eyebrows again. And in fact, we go from losing hair to actually gaining more hair than you've ever had before. So just from a consistency standpoint, it makes sense to give the form fur. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if we're going to be still doing, like, the ascended forms of Super Saiyan 4. Or if we'll do something different with them. But that's a bridge that we'll cross when we get to it. Like, especially, like, I'm thinking, like, towards, like, the Elijah Vegeta and Goku fight. Like, does Vegeta's Super Saiyan 4 really just need to upgrade out of nowhere, and then Goku need to upgrade Super Saiyan 4 out of nowhere for that fight to be meaningful? Or is the fight meaningful enough because Goku and Vegeta are having a rematch? Yes, the Aspect Lords and Elijah are still a thing. We actually already teased Elijah. Elijah got teased in the previous chapter at the very end. We have already set up the next arc. Yeah, I agree with Purple Tiger. Like, there are so many people who are just anxiously waiting for the Elijah part to start because they want to see Ultimate Swagalo come back into the fold. Ruby King, hello! I mean, in the previous version of Dragon Ball New Age, like, the ascended forms of Super Saiyan 4 made sense because Rigger said that Vegeta and Goku's forms were not complete. They were just in the quote-unquote infant stages of the fight, of the form. They were in the, you know, they haven't managed to evolve the form. But in this version, Rigger's forms are different from Goku and Vegeta's, not because he brought them to a different level. He was born at a different level. So Rigger, you know, Rigger is a true Super Saiyan 4. Goku and Vegeta can never be true Super Saiyan 4. Just like they can never be true Super Saiyan. That's just something that it's just genetically unique to Rigger. So, like, ascending the forms, like, I mean, we might be able to do, like, just a regular, like, ascended Super Saiyan 4, but, like, giving Goku and Vegeta true Super Saiyan 4, I don't think that would ever happen. Well, Purple Tiger, the Aspect Lords aren't really gods. They don't even, like, whereas in the old version they were, like, at the top of the divine hierarchy. In this version they are, like, because they're, like, so highborn, they don't really, like, function in the divine hierarchy. They, like, kind of exist above it. Ruby King, people have already been asking me if what Rigger is doing is Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4, and I've already said that we aren't using anything from Dragon Ball Heroes. Yeah, Rigger's form, Time Lord, in this version of the story is not called Super Saiyan 5. It's called his Asura form. Because at no point in the story has Rigger functionally called any of his Super Saiyan forms by a numerical value. He doesn't say Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan 1, 2, so on and such forth, because he's never had those forms. It doesn't make sense for a guy who's never interacted with the main cast to show up out of nowhere and use the same naming scheme for his forms that the main cast does. Oh yeah, you can still call it Super Saiyan 5. That's not what it's called in the story. If calling it Super Saiyan 5 is easier for you, then feel free to call it that. It's just, canonically, it's going to be called the Asura form. It's just like he never calls it True Super Saiyan. He never calls it True Super Saiyan, but, I mean, it's canonically True Super Saiyan. You know, he calls it his battle form. You know, it's, you know, what do you call it? Like True Super Saiyan and True Super Saiyan 4. Those are, like, their canonical names, but, you know, Rigger calls him his battle form and his assault form. How do I copy paste illustrations on Metabang? Control C, Control V, basically. Unless you're talking about something different. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. Yeah, like I made a tweet that like Asura, in Buddhism, which is something that Dragon Ball is heavily based off of. In Buddhism, the Asuras are referred to as anti-gods. You know, they are, oh yeah, if you're doing it on mobile, I don't think a lot of the functions of Metabang work on the mobile version. But yeah, in, what do you call it? But yeah, like I said, like Asuras in Buddhism are referred to as like anti-gods. And that's sort of the way that I'm like looking at like Rigger's Asura form. He calls it the Asura form because you know, it's pretty obvious at this point that like God Key is involved in it, but it's not the standard God Key. So it's not technically a god form, it's an anti-god. Like, just give me a second. I can actually bring it up really quick. Won't take me too long. I needed to lean back from my screen anyway. Let's see. I might have to look it up on my Discord channel. I tried to bring up the tweet and it didn't want to show up. Let me see. Ah, here it is. So this was what I had mentioned. I said Asuras, sometimes translated as Titan, demigod, or anti-god in Buddhism. Black corruption anytime Rigger uses this godly power. Why did I do that? The quote, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Why do we only see this change in his eyes? Because the eyes are the gateways of the soul. Yeah, Time Lord, I've had a Discord server for like 2 or 3 years now. You can find the link in my link tree in the description. I know, right, Jason? It's almost like I put some thought into this. Imagine, in current year, people putting thought into something. I don't know, Time Lord, where have you been? I talk about the Discord server all the time. Even on Twitter. Right? It's almost as if I've been doing this story for years. But that couldn't possibly be. Oh, hell no. Fur is actually not that bad. It's having to animate fur that's a pain in the butt. That's why I tend to whereas you see me doing jagged lines and stuff like this when I'm doing regular fur, if I was animating this, I'd want to simplify it and I would do something like this. And then I would only do a couple of lines. So yeah, with manga I can go a little bit more detailed, but with animating, no, you gotta simplify that stuff. fur is actually one of the simpler things to kind of draw. One of the simpler things to draw, because it does, like, a lot like stuff in, like, when I draw, like, wastelands and stuff, it doesn't have to be exact. Yeah, fur is one of the things that doesn't have to be exact, because it's all rough around the edges and stuff like that. That's why I like drawing rocks and stuff like that, because you don't got to be crazy exact with them. When you got to draw buildings and stuff, that's the kind of stuff that I don't like drawing. Well, Time Lord, I think the thing comes down to, I've talked about this before, is I sort of feel like I have a bit of a reputation to kind of uphold when it comes to Dragon Ball New Age. Like, I get a lot of comments saying that Dragon Ball New Age is one of the only fan works that you know, for them, that feels like it could have been an official story. And I want to do my best to uphold that, like, feeling, which is why I put so much thought and effort into trying to make it feel like an official thing. You know, whether other people feel like that, you know, like I say it all the time, your mileage may differ on whether or not you see it the way that other people see it. But those people have told me that's the way they see Dragon Ball New Age, and I want to do my best to keep that. Can I draw machines and technology like Toriyama can? Oh, hell no. I hate drawing machines and technology. Akira Toriyama loves to, until he has to draw it over and over and over and over again. Like, his manga Sandland, he did that basically because he wanted to draw an old man and a tank. And then when he realized he had to do it over and over again, he slowly included the tank less and less. Oh yeah, Toriyama's like machine artwork and stuff. It's like, I envy people who can do like mecha artwork and stuff, because that is, I've said it before, that is something that I struggle with. I try, but I struggle with it a lot. It is just not one of my strengths. To be perfectly honest, Purple Tiger, like, yeah, I know that there's some artwork mistakes in those early parts of the definitive edition when I wasn't doing stuff digitally. But I gave my word that I wasn't going to go back and start redrawing anything in this arc. You know, so like maybe at some point when I have like time, I can do like a small fix, but I really want to try and stay away from doing stuff like that, because then that makes me want to go back and redraw more and fix more. You know, I'm like, because then I start thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe I could do this panel better, or maybe I could do this panel better. And then before you know it, I'm redrawing the whole thing over again. So I wouldn't, it's not something that I want to get started doing again. I don't want to go back and start redrawing this over again. I want this to be the final redraw. The mistakes that are there, I kind of just want to leave them there. You know, and those earlier chapters were also where I was just trying to find my, like my pacing and stuff, and refine my footing after like being just completely burnt out on my art for the longest time, and trying to do things with as little referencing as possible. Plus, I was doing all that artwork like right after I'd gotten done working an 8-hour shift at a regular job. So like I was like, and I'm doing it late at night, cause it's late at night. But you know, like I said, I think like for the most part, we're just gonna leave what like couple mistakes and stuff that are in there, and move on to just trying to get the rest of this arc and the rest of the story out, instead of going back and fixing what could have been. Like, I fixed a couple continuity mistakes before, like when I first showed Rigger powering up into Asura, when he was trying to, like, you know, when he was just doing the power-up sequence, I forgot to draw his scars. So, like, something continuity-wise, that I don't mind going and, like, fixing, because that's something that needs to be done for the sake of continuity. But just trying to go back and fix my old art, I want to get away from doing that. Because if I keep doing that, I'll never get this story done. Because that's what's been holding me back for the last 15 years, is going back and trying to make this, you know, make it perfect, and it'll never be perfect. But I told everybody before, I gave my word that this would be the final redraw, and I aim to keep that promise. Yeah, Time Lord, that's what I like to hear. Man, we got to chit-chatting, and that first hour and a half just flew by. I still see people making DBNA mods. I get notifications and stuff for them a lot. Heck, the old Bumblebee Super Saiyan 5 hair is in a couple of like Dragon Ball Create a Character apps on friggin' on phones. It's something that I've often brought up about Super, how it, like, a lot of times, especially, like, Dragon Ball Super, the Dragon Ball Heroes, how it just, like, you can feel, like, the soulless cash grab of Dragon Ball Super Heroes. I like stuff that has, like, more flash, more substance than flash. And Super Dragon Ball Heroes is just all flash. And that's not to say that you can't enjoy it. If you like it, that's fine. Just not for me. Well, it's not entirely true, Time Lord. I do have a team. It's just, you know, they're my writing assistants. I do have a team of people who have been helping me write and, like, you know, nail down the things in the definitive edition. I'm still largely responsible for the, you know, for the story, but I do have people who help me with it. And without them, if I can be allowed to name them on stream, if it wasn't for Jester, Kazo, and Arctowolf, the definitive edition wouldn't be as good as it is. Those guys help me nail down the finer points of the story while helping me clear out the fluff that doesn't need to be in there. It's nice to have people who are like-minded in their storytelling to help bounce ideas off of and, you know, refine things instead of yes people who tell you that everything that you do is gold. Well, yeah, he should look beat up. He's going to look even more beat up when we start inking the rest of this chapter. This chapter doesn't pick up, like, immediately after Rigger transforms. It picks up a couple minutes later, where Goku and Vegeta have had to deal with the aftermath of what Rigger has brought to the table. But yeah, like I said, with Dragon Ball Heroes, your mileage might differ, but I can tell that it's... I know I shouldn't take it too seriously because I know it's just an advertisement for a video game. You know, it's a glorified toy commercial. You know, it's like the Ninja Turtles cartoon or Thundercats and stuff from the 80s. It's a glorified toy commercial, so I shouldn't take it too seriously. But the fandom takes it way too seriously, and then they project that onto the rest of the series, and that's the part that, like, irks me. Yeah, I don't know. There's just some things about Super and Dragon Ball Heroes that I find I have difficulty reconciling with. I guess we can put it that way. It's looking pretty good so far. Like I said, we're putting a lot of effort into this particular title page. Right, Time Lord? Like, yeah, like, you know, just battle damage and stuff in general can make your character look like a beast. But man, it just seems like nothing makes your makes your villain or whatever appear like just a total monster badass heel than when they beat up a Super Saiyan 4. I don't know why that is. I think that's the issue that I have, Jason. I can't just turn my brain off. My logic starts to creep in, and I have a hard time with it. Like, I went and saw, like, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie, the very first one. And, like, I know that it's a Michael Bay movie, so I just need to turn my brain all the way off to watch it. But as I'm watching it, like, my logic centers of my brain are starting to turn on, and they're like, it doesn't make any sense that they learned how to do ninjutsu from a book. No, you gotta just turn your brain off, stop thinking. Don't apply conscious thought, and you will like it. But I couldn't stop myself. Well, Tiger, I think when you're talking about Michael Bay, I don't think you're like really like you're holding him up as like a gold standard of cinema. Michael Bay movies are the definition of just brainless popcorn movies. Oh yes, I am a big-time wrestling fan. I used to be a professional wrestler. Yeah, the world will be much lesser the day that Masako Nozawa is no longer with us. The world will be much, much lesser for it. Yes, I did. I used to be a professional wrestler. 8 years of chair shots to the head and going through tables off of ladders through various states of thumbtacks and fire did a number on me health-wise, which is why I no longer do it. If you could ever find me on YouTube wrestling, that would be a bit of a small miracle. I wrestled mostly during the very, very late 90s and then the early 2000s. I was only wrestling for about 8 years. And most of the stuff that I did was like for local federations. It was like really before like the YouTube and the big time internet era. When I wrestled, trading VHS tapes was more common than finding somebody on YouTube. YouTube wasn't even really a thing at that time. Like YouTube didn't really start to like become like a popular thing until I'd already retired. I'm sure somebody might have like uploaded old tapes and stuff of me somewhere. I've seen people do that all the time. I never bother to search for it though. I have a couple old VHS tapes of some of my matches around here somewhere. Did I like working as a heel or a face more? It really depended. Working as a heel is really fun because it's fun to just get cheap heat and make people hate you. But working as a face is also kind of rewarding because then you get like people who come up and they want to get like autographs and pictures and stuff with you. And that's like really cool. Like, I remember one of my last matches, I was working as a face, and I got really banged up in that match, and like, against my better judgment, I went out into the bar area of the area that we were working in, and I'm just like sitting up on that stool, and I'm hurting, and this kid who is in the crowd who saw my match, I lost the match. But this kid who was in the crowd and watched the match that I had like some small interaction with during the match, he came up and like he said that he like really enjoyed my match. He was sorry that I'm hurting, and he asked me for my autograph and took a picture with me. That was like really cool. That's the kind of stuff that makes it worth it. I had multiple stage names. I didn't have like a whole like one gimmick that I worked. When you're a jobber and you're like mostly paying your dues, you work under a lot of like jobber stage names. And I worked in a bunch of like different like little small indie feds. A couple of them no longer like exist, like New Era Pro Wrestling and stuff. I worked a lot of places in like Ohio and Detroit and Southern Illinois. I worked a dark match for the Gathering of the Juggalos once. I was never anything big time. I like my most high profile opponent was Rhino, and that match it was like only like 10 seconds long. I made my entrance. Rhino was already I made my entrance first. Rhino came out second. As soon as the bell rung, I basically like ran to the middle of the ring. Rhino gored me and pinned me. That's my most high profile match. And then like I've had some like, you know, I had matches and stuff where like I was booked to be, you know, the big time kind of guy. But I never like really went anywhere. Like I don't think I was ever gonna wind up in like WWE or anything like that. Drug scandals, no. I've always been straight edge, so drug scandals never really. Anything involving drugs never really like applied to me. I've been in like locker rooms where guys were like using drugs and stuff. I've seen guys that I grew up watching on TV smoking crack in the friggin' locker room. I've told some crazy stories that I've had from locker rooms. Yeah, I got squashed by Rhino in a job match. Again, that's when I was being a jobber, and I was, you know, that was what I basically did. I got pinned and I got paid. If by paid you mean I got like Little Caesar's pizza. But like that was like my most high profile match. I've met like a bunch of like different legends in the business. Like, you know, I've met Jerry Lynn, I met Raven. Which, you know, that meeting Raven was kind of like one of the things where they always tell you to never meet your heroes, and Raven was my hero, and I really kind of wish I'd never met him, because dude was kind of a douche. I still like him, don't get me wrong, I still like Raven, but at the time when I met him, he was kind of a prick. I met him, Jerry Lynn, Gangrel, Christopher Daniels, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. I met John Cena before he went to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Samoa Joe. I knew John Cena back when he was the prototype. Yeah, I was just talking about some of my old, like, wrestling history. People didn't know that I used to be a professional wrestler, so I was elaborating a little bit. Well, because when he was the prototype, you could see him. He wasn't the you can't see me man until much later. Those days are long since past. I actually talked with Unreal Entertainment Gaming when I was first losing weight. I actually had considered like getting back in the ring and having like my official retirement match against him. Yeah, he's been a wrestler. That's been one of his big things. I actually found him on an Oh My God wrestling compilation one time. I actually shared it with him. He was wrestling one of the members of Private Party. He wrestles for House of Glory in New York, I believe. Yeah, he was trained by the Amazing Red. I was trained and actually trained with the guy who trained EC3. No, connection, overlap, I guess you could say. Yeah, I met John Cena. Like I said, I knew him before he was John Cena. I was not wrestling, but I was working the ring crew during one of his only indie appearances before he wound up going to Ohio Valley Wrestling. I actually wound up taking him, Frankie Kazarian, Nova, and Christopher Daniels to a gym so that they could get a quick pump on before the show. I'm nothing like that. I am just your average eldritch monstrosity on YouTube. I have led a very fruitful and interesting life. I got to do a lot more than a lot of people do. Jim Cornette? The guy knows his stuff. I don't agree with him on everything, but you're not supposed to agree with everybody on everything. It's called nuance. And formulating your own opinions. Like, I agree with, like, Cornette when he says that AEW is actually getting better right now because they are bringing in a lot more quote-unquote serious talent. You know, the guys like Jay Lethal and CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. The guys who treat wrestling like it's legit and, you know, treat it with some reverence and respect. And I can understand, like, a lot of his criticisms of guys like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, because a lot of times they sometimes feel like they treat wrestling like a joke. You know, they wink at the camera too much, I think is what he said. So I can understand that. But I don't agree with, like, his take that, you know, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are just awful and don't deserve to have any spot in the wrestling business. I don't agree with that take. I do feel like some of his takes on guys like Marco Stunt and stuff like that are like the people who have given AEW that reputation of being a t-shirt company, a glorified t-shirt company. There's a place for guys like Orange Cassidy and stuff like that. But to have a roster full of people like that, I think then you need to tone it down a little bit. I'm actually a really big fan of Orange Cassidy. I like Orange Cassidy a lot. go. I kind of just feel like just leaving it blank. Mostly because screen toning is like a big thing, and I feel like it very visually it very much differentiates between Rigger's like really black fur and then just having solid white blank Super Saiyan 4 fur on the rest of the guys. It creates a visual distinction between them, and I'd like to keep it that way. If I start adding more screen tones, it'll cause them to blend in a little bit more, and I don't want that to happen. Plus, because I already started with them having Super Saiyan 4 and not coloring it in with screen tones or anything, I'm kind of just I'm just pretty much tempted to just leave it that way for consistency's sake. I didn't really have access to screen tones when I started the definitive edition. Like screen toning and stuff, and using that to differentiate things is kind of like a newer thing. But I don't want to create too many changes, because then again that puts me in a position where I want to go back and keep altering things. Well, Goku died at the end of the Dragon Ball New Age version of GT. He didn't vanish with Shenron, he just died. You don't got to worry too much about the details past this blue line, because all that stuff's going to get cut off when when we go with the finalized version. How Piccolo and Goku came back in New Age gets revealed after the Rigger arc. While we've got a little bit of downtime between Elijah and Rigger, we're going to explain how Piccolo and Goku both came back. It was supposed to be symbolic, him leaving with Shenron. You know, he basically left with how the story began. You know, the Dragon Balls started his journey, so he left with the Dragon Balls to symbolize the journey ending. But yeah, we will be releasing like a quote-unquote prequel chapter that details how Goku and Piccolo were both brought back to life in this particular timeline. No one knows. Don't ask questions, just consume. Like I said, I've said before that it just kind of depends on where I am time frame wise. When we get to the end of Arc 3 of Dragon Ball New Age, there is for sure 3 arcs that we are going to do. If we wind up going past those 3 arcs, then I do have plans for Pan afterwards. And we'll kind of do like I feel like what I want to do with Pan during that particular arc will do a lot of justice to her. It might make people forgive the bad times, so to speak. This is coming out really, really nice, guys. It should after I've spent 2.5 hours on it. I actually am not a fan. I have never been a fan of making Bra into a fighter. I don't like it. Never have, never will. Some characters just are not destined to be ultimate, all-powerful fighters. They're just not. It's the way it is. And for me, like, yeah, Videl had, like, spunk in her teenage years and stuff like that. But she's happy. She's happy being a wife. You know, it's the same thing that people argue with, like, Gohan. Yeah, I understand, like, you know, people wanting Gohan to be more of a fighter and to, like, kind of balance his life between being a savior of the earth and being a dad. But they also, like, they're constantly projecting onto Gohan that he needs to be the next Goku. No, he doesn't. He's never wanted to be the next Goku. He's always wanted to be a scholar. He wanted to be a scholarly man. So, like, I can understand wanting to write and have Gohan have a balance between it, but for him to just give up and be like, oh, I hate conferences. No, he doesn't. Gohan doesn't hate conferences. That's what he grew up. That's what he lived for. That's what he's always wanted to do. Let him be happy and do what he wants to do. And just balance his life out a little bit. But, like, Videl, you guys, this is the other thing, like, people always wanting, like, Videl to continue training and, like, be up on tier with, like, the other Super Warriors. She'll never get to that level. Because you gotta remember, like, all of the Super Warriors who are, like, worth their salt in fighting, they've all had training that no normal human is ever going to get to have. They trained with gods. You know? You might not think of, like, Kaio-sama or Kami and, like, the tier that, like, you know, the Kaioshin and the Hakaishin and stuff are, but the regular human characters never had to be at that level. You know? I do agree with that, Time Lord, that we do need powerful Earthlings. That's why like I said, why I wanted to take Dragon Ball New Age, and I wanted to get away from just giving Goku and Vegeta every power-up and every buff, and start giving it to other characters and giving them a time to shine. But in terms of, like, Bra being a fighter, I've never ever liked that depiction because that's not what I get when I see Bra. Like, yeah, Vegeta was really hard on Trunks. It was his son. It was his first child, and he felt like his son had to grow up and be tough because he was still in that phase where he had to beat Goku, and that had to transfer onto Trunks. Trunks wasn't allowed to lose to Goten. But with Bra is babied by Vegeta. She is never going to have to want for anything. Yeah, Krillin got a thing, and I'm actually I'm still trying to figure out a way to like introduce that into the story and still make it organic and neat, and give Krillin, you know, some shine where I didn't before, where like in my original OG Dragon Ball New Age, where I wrote him and Mr. Satan out of the story because I didn't like them. I didn't write them out of the story to give them like anything further than just, okay, I don't like these characters, let's just kill them. Like, I have no problem with writing Bra as like strong, but like I like doing it in like a funny manner. Like, one of the things that I wanted to do with Bra is that she's still daddy's girl and she's still like not a fighter, but she's hundreds of times stronger than a normal human. And like, one of the things that I wanted to do in a future chapter is that like she's like shopping and she's got her purse and everything, and a mugger comes up and tries to take her purse, but she's like screaming and crying and like, you know, screaming that this guy is like taking her purse like it's the most awful thing. Meanwhile, this guy can't freaking move. He's trying to tug it away from her. She's not moving at all. And he's just like, what the heck is going on? And eventually she like, still screaming and not even looking at him, like pulls him towards her and smacks him and like blasts him up against a wall. And he like leaves like a small crater in the wall. And then she like opens her eyes and like sees that he's gone. She has no idea what just happened. I don't mind that because that's funny and that fits in with Dragon Ball. But to just make Bra a generic female super fighter and, oh, I'm the princess of the Saiyans and I'm gonna be a super Saiyan. Nah, I hate that interpretation of Bra. Never liked it. That fits more with, like, Pan, because even from a young age, Pan wanted to be a fighter. You know, she's always, like, training with Goku, and, you know, she was super proud that she learned how to fly around the world, you know? So, Bra growing up and being a Pan growing up and, like, learning to fight and maybe, like, balancing being a fighter with being a mom or whatever, that fits with her character. It fits more in Bra's character that she's a pampered, rich little princess who happens to be 100 times stronger than a human. That's where I stand. Yeah, I think it's not only it's funnier and it fits more with Dragon Ball that Bra is not just an up and up fighter, but she just happens to be stronger. She acts like your typical Valley Earthling girl, but she could break your arm if she really wanted to. I think that it's funnier and better that way than her just being, oh, I'm daddy's girl and I'm gonna kick your behind. Yeah, I hate that. Can't stand it. I don't mind, you kind of going that way because Pan has always been a bit of a tom girl and she's always been a bit of a fighter. We can leave that, we can have that for Pan, but leave it out there for Bra. Exactly, Blue Mew. Can fight if she was forced to, does not actively pursue fight monkey life. What about Marin? Regular Earthling girl. And she's always been that way. 18 and Krillin treat her like a standard Earthling girl. That's the other thing that people don't realize. Not every human has the potential and stuff that the Super Warriors do. The Super Warriors are abnormalities in human life. Why do you think that, like, most human beings in the Dragon Ball world are absolutely floored by a person who has, like, a power level of 100? You know, that means that they are, let's see, what would that make them? So, like, the average person has a power level of, like, 5. Like, 5 is, like, the average human being. So, so what's that mean? That's however many times stronger. A person with a power level of 100 is just, like, will blow away humans. You know? But not every human has the potential of Ten Shinhan. Nobody definitely has the potential of Oob, because Oob is a reincarnated demon. He is a reincarnated alien space demon. So his potential far outstrips any human being. Look at it this way. Krillin is the strongest normal human of all time. Alright, Ruby, thank you for coming out, man. But yeah, not every human is gonna be Super Warrior tier. Not every alien gets to be Super Warrior tier. Heck, in the bounty hunter arc that I want to do, one of the bounty hunters is so weak that, like, he couldn't, if he had to, he wouldn't even be able to fight Pan. His whole gig is that he is able to run away. $20 times. Okay, there. Thank you, Blue Mew. I can math, just not right now. I don't mind seeing strong women. Like, I made Rigger's mom strong. Sapari is technically, like, stronger than, like, 99% of all the Saiyans. You know, her power level is up in, like, the Ginyu tier, which, like, most Saiyans never even get to sniff. Rigger has a daughter who's being trained by his oldest son, and she's crazy strong in her own right. You just don't have to make every single woman in Dragon Ball into a Super Warrior. They don't have to be. That makes them boring and uninteresting. Just as it makes them boring and uninteresting to make every single one of them a housewife. You can have nuance. Make some strong female characters. But you don't have to shoehorn every female character that we already have into being that. Like, I love R&R's takes on, like, Launch and Chi-Chi. Yeah, they're not strong as the Super Warriors, but they can be tough when they have to be. That's fine. But they don't have to train and be the next Super Saiyan. Alright, guys. I think we have finished this title page. 2.5 hours. Holy moly. That just flew by. There's not really a whole lot I want to do more with this particular page. I saved it already, I believe. Let me see. Did it save? Yes, it did. It saved. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get started on the next page. So just give me a quick second. I'm going to run to the restroom, stretch my legs, and I'll be right back. Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to bring up our placeholder image. Where'd you go? There you are. All right, be right back, guys. Alrighty, I'm back. I was back, but I forgot to put my my blueberry flavoring in my water. Drink water, kids. It's good for you. And where did my... Oh, there it is. Alright, since we're done with the title page, now we can move on to the next one. Blue Mew, those guidebooks are frankly, like, worthless. Like, yeah, we have, like, some, like, linear progression and everything, but it's always very, very slow and, minute compared to, like, the pure jumping that we got towards Frieza. But, I've talked about it before, how, like, based, like, around the Frieza Force, and their determinations in the Broly movie, like, it is highly uncommon for anybody to get over a power level of 1,000 anymore. You know, they had a hard time. They said it had been months since they found anybody with like a power level of 4,000. You know, 1,000 and under is like the universal average for almost every race in the universe. The guys like Zarbon, Dodoria, and anybody with like power levels of 10,000 and above are absolute abnormalities, and the Ginyus were even further beyond that. But yeah, I don't trust those guidebooks as far as I can throw them. Power levels are BS. Thanks, Blue Mew. Appreciate you coming out. If you have time, stop on back by. I don't get to have dinner until after stream. My head feels a little bit better, so that's a good thing. Hey, Art Dog. What's going on, man? Purple Tiger, though, like, that's not even, like, confirmed. None of the fusion multipliers are confirmed. Everybody construes that Potara fusion is A times B, but there's nothing to prove it. There's never been an official statement from the person who matters when it comes to that kind of thing as to how to multiply that. The only official statement we've ever had in regards to, like, how Potara fusion is different from Metamoran fusion is that it's better. That's it. Heck, we don't even have a solid official multiplier for Super Saiyan. Because, like, there's been times where Toriyama says that he was operating that Super Saiyan was just a 10 times boost, but the guidebooks say it was 50 times. Unless it was pointed out in the actual manga, I don't trust any number as far as I can throw it anymore. I will take statements from the official material as the only, like, supporting evidence. Which is why I say that base Goku in Battle of Gods is not stronger than Frieza. Because Beerus says that he says to base Goku, as you are now, I don't see how you could have beat Frieza. That's the best way to look at it, Isabella. Don't care about the numbers, just care about the performance. That's why I like when people ask me, well, what's the power multiplier for Asura form or True Super Saiyan 4? I give you a general ballpark description of how I was operating on it instead of an actual number. Because everybody construes the power levels and stuff differently. I know how it is, Purple Tiger, because like the bog standard Super Saiyan multipliers that like everybody like says is like, you know, their default or the true ones. You know, 50 times, 100 times, 300 times, whatever. Those were ingrained in my mind and what I used to operate on, but now I just ignore multipliers entirely. Yes, Ryan. Lucas is my nephew. He is a fan of the streams, and I put that there as just like a way to shout him out. It does have a symmetry tool. I used it on Rigger's jawline. I just used the copy and paste for his eye because I wasn't sure if I was going to like the way it looked when I flipped it, but it looks fine. Yeah, he is a aspiring artist, and when he found out that I streamed on YouTube, he bragged about it to his friends and stuff. There's a little alteration, all we needed. I think he's mad, guys. Does he look mad? He looks mad. Yes, he is indeed angry. Angry boy. Uh-oh. Hold on just a second, guys. I got a notification. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. Alright, back to it. Right, I'll do you for that. I apologize to any British people who I've most likely just offended with my horrible fake accent. Isabel, I'm thinking we're probably gonna finish this page and then call it a day because I have some other stuff that I have to get done. But I wanted to get at least the title page. So, you know, I wanted to get this done. This was the most important thing. I wanted to get that done and at least get this done. That way we have 2 pages to upload for Wednesday. Oh, Time Lord found it hilarious. Okay, so I got my British card pass. You see that, children? A symmetry tool is very helpful. Yeah, we're gonna get this one done, do all the inking and stuff, well, you know, get all the inking done, do some shading to it, and then I'll call it a night so that I can get to work on trying to finish the pencils for the rest of this chapter. And then tomorrow we'll be doing Moscow X thumbnails. Oh, you're a Welshman? You can't speak for all the British? I did this one, Art Dog. We did this, the title page. I spent like 2.5 hours getting this one done. I mean, I've done the accent in front of Masako before, and he didn't get offended, so... Well, to be fair, Time Lord, I don't know much about the world outside of, you know, Japan and America, so some of us are very ill-informed folk. I mean, heck, I have German fans, and I've told that, you know, I've asked them about the glorious sausage kraut fields of Germany. Because that totally exists, and Germany is nothing but beer and sauerkraut. Hey, I had a bunch of things that like were supposed to be in Dragon Ball New Age, but then they got done in like the official series, so I couldn't do them. Also, like, little side note, I know, like, the popular thing for Dragon Ball, especially, like, when it came to characters like Bardock and them, like, if this scar was being done in, like, the anime, let me just show you, so, like, you see how jagged this is, but if, like, this scar was being done in the anime, it would be done like this. Hold on a second, let me make an alternate layer. It would be done like this. This, I can't stand. This looks more like a real scar. I don't like doing just these straight line scars. I mean, you know, you don't got to put in that, like, level of detail all the time, but to put it in on some of the pages is, like, fine. Like, when you can get up close to the scars, like this, then yeah, add some like realistic scarring detail. Don't just go with straight lines. don't care how clean how clean of a cut it is. I never see scars that are perfect straight lines. There's always some jaggedness to them. I don't know. Just a thing that, like, you know, that I do anyway. I'm not saying everybody has to do it, but I just think it personally looks better. Right. With this page being like a big close-up image, we are going to add like a little bit more like shading style pizzazz to it. First things first, we're gonna do these parts. have to be exact since we're going to be doing some erasing and stuff with it. I mentioned before, Time Lord, I am an eldritch creature from beyond the stars. The human form that you see before you is just what your feeble human mind is able to comprehend. That is the form that I take so that you don't go completely insane from gazing upon me. Yes, if you were to gaze upon my true form, you would go instantly insane and your heart would explode inside your chest. I went through 4 co-stars before we figured that one out. They're a very loving couple. We showcase that a lot more in this version, that they actually, like, wholeheartedly care for each other. Appropriately sinister, no? No, I didn't get all of it. Son of a pup. There we go. I think that's all of it. I really want this shaded area to have like the screen tone in it to give it the appropriate color. That's